Straight ahead on Fox News at 10, how would you like to get paid $1 million for doing research on beer? We'll raise a toast in the name of science tonight. Plus, brought back to life, new rumors surface about Michael Jackson's death. We'll separate fact from fiction. And a dramatic high-speed chase caught on camera. Wait till you hear how old the driver is. Fox News at 10 starts now.
You're watching Fox News at 10, Western Oregon's only 10 o'clock news.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us for Fox News at 10. I'm David Walker, in for Natasha Chugtai tonight. What's the next big thing for Oregon's beer industry? Well, a pair of Oregon State researchers is getting $1 million to find out. KVAL's Todd Milburn has the story first on Fox.
Here in this Oregon State Research Lab,
we even have a small pasteurizer here.
Two scientists are on a quest to build a better beer.
We can take experimental hop varieties. We're doing work with experimental barley varieties.
But they're not following their taste buds. They're following their noses.
Very lemon citrusy aroma.
Turns out the flavor of your favorite beer is more about how it smells than how it tastes.
So your tongue really only senses sweet, sour, salty, and bitter, and something else we call umami, which is sort of a savory flavor. Everything else that comes from food is aromatic.
The challenge now, to improve the scent of Oregon suds.
The search for new and exciting aromas starts here, with the hops.
Brewers often refer to hops as the spice of beer, and so they're able to tweak flavors or totally transform flavors by changing the type of hops and the amount of hops they use and when they use them.
The scientists draw inspiration from this hop.
What we have here is the variety Cascade.
Discovered by OSU researchers in 1956.
It basically ushered in the American aroma hop.
And ushered in a new era of Oregon brewing. Today, a $2.25 billion industry.
Craft beer is one of the signature things that I think people think of with Oregon.
So what flavors are on tap for the future?
Buttered popcorn and chocolate and spearmint and a whole variety of different aromas.
In Corvallis, I'm Todd Milburn reporting.
The grant is coming from Indie Hops. It's one of the state's largest sellers of hops. A fruit fly that turns the state's valuable fruit crops to mush is here to stay. Experts say it's too late to wipe out the pest called the spotted winged Drosophila. Researchers at Oregon State University are doing detective work looking for the best plan of attack. Officials say the threat is not unlike the gypsy moth of the 1980s.
Potentially, I'd say this is going to be having more of an economic impact because it's multiple crops. It's about 20 different crops. It's high-value crops as well.
Walton says $20 million in losses is possible for Oregon blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, and cherries. Officials say the control plan for the flies is still being worked out, but likely will include some chemical spraying and mass trapping of the bugs. Well, you might notice some activity near the Eugene Railroad tracks over the next couple of days. Union Pacific Railroad is doing its annual vegetation control spray. That means, weather permitting, crews will be spraying herbicides on and around the tracks. City officials say they can't prevent the spray, but do have what's called the Good Neighbor Agreement, where the railroad company must notify the city about it.
They recognize that spraying of chemicals for vegetation control is of concern to people in our community, and so this was one method of trying to keep the community informed about that practice.
KVAL News contacted Union Pacific to get more information about the herbicides and to find out exactly which location of the tracks crews would be spraying. We haven't heard back yet. An Albany man is charged with assault. Police say he shot a woman he was living with during a confrontation Sunday morning. Police said this man, Roger Bishop, and a woman he lived with, Jamie Geiger, got into a physical struggle over a gun during the argument, and Geiger was shot. Police said Geiger first reported she shot herself while cleaning the weapon, but their investigation later found Bishop was involved. Bishop was taken to the Lynn County Jail. It's something a lot of people are talking about, a boom so loud it rattled homes in Portland for miles. So what really happened? Megan Cockstein has the story.
It was like a dynamite boom, not like a firecracker, but like an explosion.
It was a boom Sunday night that could be heard from miles away.
Our windows rattled like that.
But from her deck, Maggie Shangle was right across from the source.
It was just horrifically loud.
It, according to Sergeant Michael Unsworth with the Explosive Devices Unit, was a very large plastic pipe bomb.
It's a bomb. Can't have it.
He says it was likely detonated from the embankment, still soft from the explosion. The site at Powers Marine Park sits just south of the Selwood Bridge and on the west side of the Willamette River, a spot they found in part thanks to a map people used through Twitter.
Based on what the citizens had called in, and also that website that people had established very quickly last night, kind of led us to this area. We were looking for evidence of a device that had functioned, and we haven't indeed found that today.
Sergeant Unsworth says low-lying clouds in the hill acting as a backdrop carried the explosive sound.
As it bounced off the clouds, it would literally go up and then bounce back down. So that's why people far away could hear it.
But Shangle and others say this isn't the first explosion heard across the river.
And looked back, and that's when the fireball went up, exploded.
The one on March 15th, she says, was even more intense.
It is very scary because I don't know if somebody's testing things out for other places or for something else.
Well, Jesse Jackson is back in Portland. Jackson says the officer-involved shooting of Aaron Campbell first brought him to the city. Now he says he has a number of reasons for visiting, including education, health care, and transportation. Jackson wrapped up talks with church leaders about opening a Portland office for his Rainbow Push Coalition. That's an organization founded to fight for social change. He also visited a school and planned to attend a transit union meeting. After passage of a health care reform bill in Congress, there are still a lot of questions out there about what it all means. Today in Eugene, Congressman Peter DeFazio talked about the bill, improved benefits for Oregonians, and about his vote. Congressman DeFazio walked into a room of supporters, healthcare workers, and some business people to talk about the healthcare reform bill.
Yeah, there are obviously a tremendous number of questions among the American public. They know that something has been done, something significant that has caused tremendous, shall we say, consternation among many folks.
DeFazio talked about the battle over legislation in the bill to address geographic disparities in Medicare reimbursements.
Well, it does not cost 3.5 times as much to provide the same Medicare service to a person in Miami, Florida, as it does in Eugene, Oregon.
But before the vote, that part of the bill disappeared.
When I found out on Thursday morning that came out of the bill, I said, this is not acceptable.
And that, says DeFazio, had him ready to pull his support.
So I walked off the House floor, and there was a gaggle of reporters out there, and one of them stopped me and says, well, you want to tell us how the progressives helped put this over the top? And I said, well, it'll be kind of embarrassing for me right now. He said, well, why is that? I said, it's not voting for the bill in its present form. Suddenly I was mobbed. And about 2 hours later, the White House and the leadership took us seriously.
The debate over health care reform continues. DeFazio says he does not look at this bill that passed as a final product.
I expect we will revisit this time and time again, particularly as people begin to understand what's in it and understand the potential it provides for them and why they've got better coverage or why they didn't get what they thought they were going to get, and maybe there's a way to get.
Well, whether you agree or disagree, you can share your thoughts with Congressman DeFazio. Email him at defazio.house.gov and click on Contact Me. Coming up on Fox News at 10, the amazing story of Tater Tot the dog. This golden lab went missing for 3 days after a car crash. We'll tell you what happened.